Hello everyone, this is Mr. Swapnil Babu Sahib Herwade. I am again here with the fourth lecture of management. I am a lecturer at Sri Institute of Technology, Polytechnic at Visakhapatnam in Mechanical Engineering Department. So this is the fourth lecture in row. So this will be the last lecture also. Okay. So our chapter is directing and controlling at supervisory level. In this chapter, we are already gone through the 3 points. That is, first will first is directing at supervisory level. Second point we have covered, that is personal counseling. Third point is about the managerial control, and today we will see the fourth point, that is controlling. Okay, so in this we have some three types. Okay, first, that is non-quantitative methods. In bracket we have quality. Second, quantitative methods will be in quantities, and third will be budgets and budgetary control. See, in last part also we have gone through some things like quantitative methods and qualitative methods. Okay, so first, that is non-quantitative methods, mean it is a qualitative method, means it only deals with the quality of the employee, quality of the organization, quality in the organization. Okay, so it deals with the attitude of the worker and overall performance in a qualitative way. Okay, second, quantitative methods will have some quantities in their hands so that they can compare the standards with the performance. They can find out the deviation and they can give the, or they can have a correct action on the deviation. Okay, so these are the quantitative methods. And last one is the budget or budgetary control. Budget means it is nothing but a financial thing which can be planned for a next financial year so that we can perform as per the budgets or as per the plan. Okay, so these are the three types of controlling method. That is, first is a non-quantitative, it can be a qualitative methods. Second, quantitative methods which have some numbers, and third is a budgets and budgetary control. Okay, so in this we will move to the first one, that is non-quantitative methods, simply quality. Okay, first, used in performing other managerial functions like planning, organizing, staffing, and directing. See, the qualitative methods are only keen to see the attitude and performance of the subordinates or the workers in the company, so that these all plannings, organizing, staffing, and directing all are related with the quality of the worker. Okay. Next, lead to control the overall performance of an organization, as if the workers are doing work in a well manner with a good attitude, so this will lead to control overall performance of an organization. And third, directed towards controlling employees attitude and performance. Okay, this is qualitative. It has some techniques to do it. First, observation. We can observe the workers at different intervals during its work on, and it provide you the information about the employee's attitude, how he works, when he is in working, how we work, or he have the attitude when he have the free in the company. Okay, so it will show you the attitude of the worker. Okay, then second, periodic or spot inspection. If it controls the subordinates, they work efficiently, so company must have the periodic inspection of a worker. Third, we have oral and written reports. These reports can be given by the supervisors to the management so that the management can take the corrective actions. Next, performance evaluations. Performance evaluation, we have performance evaluation of each person in a company is done by the top management. And last, discussion between the manager and employees involved in performing an activity. This will give you the clear idea or the clear view of how the employee think about the activity. Okay, with his own attitude. Okay, so this all these are the general purpose of this measures is to supervise or lead the workforce. Okay, so next, these are the five things of non-quantitative methods. Next we have the quantitative methods, that is quantity. Based on specific data, quantitative methods to measure and correct the quantity and quality of the output. First we have the budgets. Budgets will be of two types. First is a regular budget Second is a specialized budget. Regular budget will contain the operating cost, capital expenditure, sales and cash budgets. And second, that is specialized budgets such as zero based budgeting or human resource accounting, that is HRA. Okay. Then we have control centers. Control centers, or we can say it as a business control centers, or we can say it as a business accelerators. Means the centers which can accelerate the whole business. So they may have some types, that is cost center, profit center, responsibility center. These are the centers which can grow your company in very well manner. So these are the control center on which the company will focus on. Okay. Next we have third, that is audits. Audits have some types. So we can say first is internal audit, which is done by the employees in the company. Second is a external audit, which is done by the external agency. And third is a management audit, which is done by the management inside the company to view what is the current situation of a company. Okay. Next we have ratio and analysis, like liquidity analysis, profitability analysis, activity analysis, debit analysis, market analysis, and efficiency analysis. These all are nothing but the ratio analysis. Okay. So next we have more 2 points. That is first is a break-even analysis. Okay. In this C we have a diagram below. In that, on y-axis we have revenue, on axis we have units sold. If you have started a company of a refrigeration company, okay, and you have sold in a 2 or 3 months, you have already sold the 100 units of refrigerators, okay, but then also you are not getting a profit. Why? Because you are not, till you are not reached to the break even point. Okay. So this analysis give you the number of units you must sold, so that you will start to get a profit. If your break even point is at 120 units, okay, means when you sold your 121th or the first refrigerator, at that point you will start to get a profit. Because for first 120 refrigerators, this is a cost which is you have already incurred for some equipments, for the consumables, for the maintenance, for overall things. Okay. So break even point is a point where you can see that from this point you will start to get a profit. So this is break even analysis. Next we have time preference charts and techniques. In that we have 3 points: the Gantt chart, then PERT and CPM. Okay. The first Gantt chart is, it is a useful graphical tool which shows activities or tasks performed against the time. Okay, means for how much time period which activity will be there. This can be shown with the help of Gantt chart. Okay. Then next one we have the PERT, that is program evaluation and review technique. Program evaluation and review technique. This is used to schedule, organize and coordinate the tasks within a project. And last we have the CPM, that is critical path method. It is an algorithm for planning, managing and analyzing the timing of a project, that is critical path method. So these are the three things: the Gantt chart, the PERT, that is program evaluation and review technique, and last we have the CPM, that is critical path method. Okay. So next we have budgets and budgetary controls, that is cost. See, preparation of budget is an integral part of the planning process, as every year the company start to preparing the budget for the next financial year in the month of February or in the month of January for the next financial year, because the financial year of previous year will end in March, so that in March itself you have the plan of budget for the next financial year, because with that budget you can plan for the new equipments, new extra consumables, for new orders. Okay. So depend on budget or how much cost you have, you may plan. If you have the low cost, you may cut out some plan. If you have the good budget in your hand, means after getting so many equipment, so many consumers, then also you may get the profit, then you can have a good plan. So, okay, so planning for next year or the next financial year is always depend on the how much budget you have. So companies are keen to start their planning for the next financial year in the month of February and March, and they have the proper budget in their hand in the first week of April, so that they can start to plan as per that. Okay, so preparation of budget is an integral part of the planning process, and the budget itself is the end point of the planning process. See, budget itself is an end point, means if budget is low, you may cut out some plans. If budget is good, you may go with the whole plan. Okay, a budget is an estimate of income or expenses for a specific time period. Okay, your budget maybe for 1 year, maybe for 3 months, maybe for 6 months, it may be for a single month. Okay, it is depend on company for how much time period he want the budgets. Some companies have the budgets for the years, and may they again classified or they again differentiate into a monthly budget, so that they are have a good focus on a company's revenue and the budget. Okay, next, grassroots budgeting asks each manager to project his or her unit's need for funds in a specific categories like wages, salaries, and supplies. See, when you form the budget, okay, so the management will seek the budgets of the every department, so that they can combine them all and form a central budget. For that, they have given the idea to the departmental heads how the budget will be there, what cost it will incur, and depend on that, the manager will form a budget and he will show that budget to the management. Okay, so that management will compile everything and form a central budget for the next financial year. Okay, these are the representative of an organization comprehensive budgeting program. In this we have two components of capital expenditure. In that, first we have operating budget. Operating budget includes the expenses and revenue budgets for an entire organization. And second is the financial budget. Financial budget is represented by the cash and capital expenditure budgets. Means, see, if we have the 100 rupees, okay, in financial budget we can see if you have the 100 rupees in next financial year, where you are going to incur or invest those 100 rupees. And second point is from where you get those 100 rupees, means cost in and cost out is nothing but a financial budget. From where you get the money and where you will invest the money. This is a financial budget. Okay. Next. Next point we have essentials of effective controlling by supervisor. Essentials of effective controlling by supervisor. So the first, that is suitable. The control system should be appropriate to the nature and needs of the activity, so that it is suitable to the supervisor to control the subordinates. Okay. Next, timely and forward looking. The feedback system should be as short and quick as possible, so that there cannot be delay in the closed loop system. The feedback should be a shorter one or the quicker one. Okay, then objective and comprehensive. In that, objective controls specify the expected result in clear and definite terms. Next, flexible means the controlling by supervisor, it is flexible as per the company's need. Okay, it should be flexible so that it can be adjusted to suit the needs of any change in the basic nature of the inputs or in the company. Next is economical. The benefit obtained from a control system should be more than the cost involved in the implementing it. Means the controlling by supervisor, the how much cost we incurred in controlling it should be minimum than our total profit. Okay, so that it should be economical one. Then acceptable to the organization members. This control system is acceptable to the all organization members, from the top management to the manager, then supervisor, the team leader, departmental heads, and by the workers or the subordinates. Okay, then periodically reviewed. The control system should be periodically reviewed and evaluated so that we have the close focus on the company's goal or the company's control system. Okay. Next, we have next point, that is workers' resistance to managerial control. See, if we have the good management at the top also, there are so many workers, we will have some problem with a good company also. Okay, so there are so many workers are there, they have some like problems. Okay, the first, failure to accept the objectives. A worker may not care about his waste. Okay, he thinks that his boss is so much rich, so that this small waste cannot do anything in his richness. Okay, so this is nothing but a failure to accept the objectives. Some workers are thinking that we are doing the small waste, so it cannot have any, it cannot affect the boss the richness. Okay, next, unreasonable standards. A person may dislike the control because he thinks that the standard of performance are too high in the company, though those are irritating the workers. Some workers may think like that. Okay, next, too many controls. Some workers think that there are too many controls on us, in timing, out timing. You must you must work with the targets. You must work with the goals. Everything, all these things. Okay, so some workers think that there are so many controls, but they never think that they have so many controls when they are getting the good pay. They only think this when they have the work. Okay. Next, incomplete measurement. Some workers think that standard given by the industry or the process given by the industry is not taking a complete measurement of by one worker. This is incomplete one. Okay. Next, disclosure of unpleasant facts. Employees do not like the controls because they have the fear of exposure of their weaknesses before the supervisor, before their subordinates, and before their colleagues. Okay, these are the workers resistance to the managerial control. Next, we have the control techniques. In control techniques, we have 7 points. In that, we have first, past oriented control techniques, means after the work is completed, means example is inspection of job. This is past oriented, means the given task is completed, after that we are doing the controlling process. That is inspection of job, means after completion of job, all the operation we get the final product, after that we are doing the inspection. That is past oriented control technique. Next, we have future oriented control technique, that is before the work is completed, means we see the fund flow analysis, or we can say the budgets. Budgets is nothing but a future oriented control techniques. Market control techniques, in that we can have the comparison with the price and the profits of the previous year or of the other organization. This is market control technique. Next, we have the bureaucratic control techniques. Bureaucracy means these are the government rules. Okay, next, clan control techniques, generating trust, belief, and tradition with the companies, with the vendors, with the top companies. Okay, so this is clan control technique. Old control techniques, it is related with the financial and accounting based. Next, we have the new control techniques with the new information about the new trends. Okay, so this is new control technique. Next, we have types of supervisory control. In that, we have 5 things. First, standardizing the control on the basis of performance, persevering the control on the basis of giving the responsibilities to the workers. Next, we have the delegation of authority control by having a policy manual in a company. Next, we have measurement control by measuring the job performance of every individual. And last one, we have the motivating control by motivating control means control the subordinates by motivation. So these are the supervisory controls. Next, we have advantages of control by supervisor. In that, first, it makes necessary adjustment in operation. Supervisor can change some actions at a ground level as per the requirement. Next, the Management can verify the policy. Management can check success or failure of the policy from the top. Okay. Control flows throughout the organization from top to bottom. See, orders are given by the top management and they see or the control always from flows from the hierarchy from top to bottom or it percolates. Okay. Next, supervisor have control over the subordinates, must have the control over the subordinates, because if you have the good control, you will get the good efficiency of the work and you will get the good profit. Okay, so the control simply reflects to the profit, but it should be at a, it must have some limits, or the higher control will tend to lose the profit. Okay, there is a psychological pressure to get better performance through the control processes. This pressure is important because to have a good efficient work, okay, with the company's growth, it is good to have some sort of psychological pressure. Okay, next, it creates an atmosphere of discipline in department. Disciplined work will standardize the department with the next level of working. Okay, next, supervisor coordinate the activities of his subordinates. Next, control by supervisor ensures the progress in efficiency. Supervisor control is ensures the progress of the company so that we can get the good profit. If supervisor is good, you will get the good profit, because supervisor is the one which will hold the companies in line with the company's goal. Okay, so these are the advantages of control by supervisor. And the last point we have limitations of control by supervisor. See, supervisor cannot fix the standards in all the cases. He can do some changes at a ground level, but he cannot fix all the standards in all the cases, because if quantitative standards are not fixed, then performance cannot be measured accurately. Means the top management will standardize everything, because supervisor cannot fix the standards in all cases. He may change some actions at the bottom level, but he cannot set all the standards. Okay. Next, external factors like government policies, market trends cannot be controlled by the supervisor. See, as like government policies are changing day by day. As we have seen, they are changed from BS norms, then the market trends are there, as like a new trend in market like corona trend, so that cannot be controlled by the supervisor. If supervisor tries to keep control of the subordinates, then the freedom of them is lost, so it is difficult in applying the responsibility if workers are not willing to accept the control. So controlling by supervisor must have some limits. He cannot control on them for every minute. Okay, so control by the supervisors, it must have some limits. Okay, so that workers also think that they have the freedom to work. Okay, then small organization cannot afford the expensive method of controlling. The small organization will have the small unit, small expenditure, small revenue, small profit, so that cannot afford the expensive method of controlling. So this is the last point of limitation of control by supervisor. So in next lecture we will see the multiple choice question regarding to the third chapter. Okay, thank you everyone for listening well. We will stop here.